Whew, y'all. Every week, I think this show can't get better than the last. They top it and top it and top it again, y'all. My mind is blown. I can't believe Tony is so dumb and stupid for volunteering to go into elimination when you safe, man. When you safe, you don't do this. You were on a season with Zach and Amanda who went in for you, and you saw what happened to them. So why would you do the same thing, Tony? Your clock ain't ticking like they said. I think the clock is broke. I think you need to get a new watch after this season, Tony, and check it and make sure that it's on the right time and get it off Tony time. Because you might have to retire and throw the one you got out. Whew, y'all, crazy. Welcome back, y'all, to the DeAndre Way, where we going through the challenge season 40. This is episode 3. Episode 3 is the craziest one yet. I didn't think too much. I didn't think it might have topped. I don't think this topped the 8 elimination episode, but it was pretty dang good, if I must say. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate y'all for watching the page to get this recap / reaction of the challenge. We gonna get right into it, y'all. My initial thoughts right after the episode. One, I think Tony's dumb as hell. I want to know why he didn't decide to, or why people think that he wanted to go home. I'm very curious to hear those reasons why. I'm sure we'll hear him on a podcast this week. Because if you wanted to go home, you could have just let Leroy stay. But Leroy looked like he wanted to go home too. And you got your karma. I mean, you did this to yourself. And I'm glad that they got to compete separately so Avery wasn't, a substantial blow and a casualty because of your decision making. Hey, look, and Adam turned Hooter to a housewife. Shout out my man, the rant god, Dave Smith, for that reference. Avery made Adam and Hooters proud, so shout out Avery. She doing it for the team. She doing it. She gonna go home and all the Hooters people gonna be cheering her on and they gonna hook her up because she threw down. She backed up her game and she did what she needed to get done. I ain't never seen Avery like this. I ain't seen her like this since she was on the Real World fighting Naya. That's what I was like, dang, this Avery coming back. Because All Stars 4, we did not see this. At least the edit didn't show us. Avery came out swinging with her words and her actions, and we got to put some respect on her name. I was going in on her in episode 2, but hey, I gotta eat my words when it comes to Avery. So she shut me up. And then lastly, this is tough, but I think that Darrell and Avery got screwed. They got screwed. They're the first ones to have to deal with this twist of picking people as targets. And everyone is looking at them funny style now. And now they're always going to be a target for the next person, it seems like, because they had to throw that initial bullet in there. So that's pretty tough. I feel for my brother Darrell. He got the dub and he hurt his back. So he's going through it right now. Darrell, he's like, shit, maybe I need to go home soon. But y'all, we gonna go through the whole episode. We get started with the cast being curious on what happened to the past 8 eliminated players. It seems like they might have been going into a redemption house. I thought they were going into a redemption house too initially, but that's all we hear about it. They don't know if they're coming back or not. And we didn't actually, I'm just gonna jump to it. We didn't get to see who the losers, Tony and Jody, were going to put their karma points for. So we didn't get to see that. And we don't know the full results of the first karma points. I guess we won't get that till the end of the season. That's just a note. But yes, Tony said he expected Leroy to be stronger. Leroy catching strays. Leroy, you got to get back in the gym, dog, and come back next season because you can't be taking L's like this. You ain't even on the show no more and you still catching them. Karen said she noticed CT and Jordan was cheering for her, so she definitely knows who got her back in the situation, who's Team Kara and who's not Team Laurel. Shout out CT and Jordan for pulling for the right team. They pulling for the right team now. Horacio, he's feeling the pain. Now, Horacio, you got to get it together. Get your head in the game. Troy Bolton style, Horacio. I know you missing your girl and you guys wanted to play this game together, but you got to bring back the money for Honey. You got to bring back the cake for Nerese to get the cake because she don't want to come back and see you follow her right after that. I mean, y'all might as well have went home together in that case. And I hope his head's in the game because Horacio's a good dude. And you could tell he just feels isolated. He really ain't got no real friends there. Michelle ain't his real friend. Olivia ain't his real friend. He only has Kylan, and that might be it. So, and he don't know the rest of the eras. So Horacio's on an island. He might be in one of the worst spots in this game, and he became a target. So Horacio, well, you better start playing some games with some people. You better start teaching some people some Spanish or something. Give the people something, because you're gonna have to make alliances real quick, because you're next on your team. Darrell reflects on winning Fresh Meat with Aviv. That was the first season I ever watched. I love Darrell and Aviv. They're two of my favorite players. That's what got me into the challenges, watching them win. So I remember Fresh Meat like the back of my hand. I know the elimination order of that season. I know pretty much everything about Fresh Meat. That's the season I know the most about. And All Stars 4 now, I guess, because it's recent memory. But yes, shout out Darrell and Aviv. I can't believe what he did in the conversation chamber, as I'll call it. And we have a little game talk, and they seem to have each other's backs. But Darrell, Darrell a little wishy-washy. I ain't gonna cop. Darrell, he seemed like he off his rocker sometimes. Even though that's my dog, I gotta keep it straight, because we keeping things a buck 100 here. Darrell, his head ain't always in the game. His head's somewhere else sometimes, and I don't know. We gotta find it and reel him back in. But yes, Aviv gets to talk about her kids, and she says she's here for herself. So shout out Aviv. You can still be a parent and have a life outside of your kids. Remember that, y'all. Our kids are looking to us for inspiration, the adults for inspiration and motivation. And if we just live vicariously through them, then what do they have to look at? Aviv is teaching life lessons here. Come on now, Aviv. Hold on. Let me know that you're doing something. Okay. So they have a party. Before the party, Devin gets naked again. Devin, is he? He should go on Naked and Afraid. He needs to sign up for that show if that's the part of the game he's playing. But yeah, I guess Michelle liked what she saw. He said it a couple times, and Michelle's like, "Ooh, let me just go climb that tree real quick." Emily and Brad get it on and popping. I didn't see that one coming. You know, she said she liked the beard, and she trying to see what's up in there. You know, Emily likes to go in the forest herself. She looking for the ticks and fleas and what's up in the beard. She trying to get on the Eliza Thornberry side of the game. Emily was popping. And Nia gets it popping with Josh as well. So everybody getting it cracking. It don't matter what era you in. It don't matter what color team you playing for. Anybody can get it, it seems, this season. Nobody's safe. And shout out Nia and Josh. Nia, she playing the game. She's playing the Maxwell game. Let's not play the game. If you ain't heard that song, you better check it out, because that's one of the best songs ever. One of my favorite songs. It's called Let's Not Play the Game by Maxwell. Let's not play the game. But Nia playing the game. Josh, I don't know what game he playing. Lose Friends game. The cast soon arrives to the challenge, and they are working as a team on this one, which I wish we got to see on the first mission, but we'll see it in this one. And I wish they implemented the elimination, how they did this in Force at Foregone after. I wish they did the first eliminations like they did this elimination, because we want to see the eras go against each other. It's called Battle the Eras, not battle against your own era. I want to see Era 1 go against Era 3, Era 2 go against Era 4, etc., etc., etc. I don't want to see the eras place each other, because that's just not what I signed up for. And I'm glad they got the message real quick. But yes, we get to the challenge, and they're working as a team. And each era must pick one man and one woman to represent the team as leaders. And Anissa knows what time it is with her team. She knows she's been in this game a lot. And she's like, look, usually the captain got to go down with the sinking ship. And my team don't like me already. They already call me a layup. I'm going to sit in the cockpit. You know, I'm going to sit in first class and watch y'all do what y'all need to do. Don't even try it. Because Anissa, she's at the mercy of her team. Look, she ain't got no voice. She don't have to be whatever they want her to be. But she gets out of this one, and we find out that the captains are Jody and Darrell, Derek and Aviv, Tony and Avery, and Casey and Kylan. Every team seems to, you know, comprehensively and agreeingly decide to come to the captains together. But we all know the captain's going to have to be at the mercy, so they're willing to take one for the team. So shout out all these captains. These captains are brave soldiers. They're the first ones, and that's what time it is. And it's the only challenge where you get to nominate the captains, because the captains seem to be picked as the targets for the next challenge. So the targets are essentially the captains here on, so on and so forth. This elimination is called Gladiator. Okay. They must race over to the dragon boats, row around the island, and then race over to the food and their Vietnamese cuisines. I don't know what y'all eating out in Vietnam, but don't let me catch y'all eating this on a regular now. Because some people might actually do that. I'm surprised they didn't have some other animals up on the board, but it was trifling, y'all. I mean, look, I always want to do an eating challenge just to see, because I'm always like, I could eat anything, because I always wanted to go on Fear Factor. And I want to test myself to see how it is, because I can nose, smell, block all that out. And if it's for money, I'll eat whatever. I'm going in like some of them was. Like Tony. I'm going to turn into Tony time when it comes to eating. You know? That seems the only thing he good at. He ain't brains, and his bronze wasn't working this game, and his heart wasn't in the game either. So if it ain't eating, then you might want to sit everything out, Tony. But the food was snake and something medley. I can't remember the medley was. Snake and something medley. Pig brain, blood caked with vinaigrette. Ooh. Coconut worms. Oof. The worms, I don't know. The duck embryo. We're eating duck babies, essentially. Duck babies? I don't know about that. Boiled something eyes. Cow eyes? Boiled eyes. I'm just going with boiled eyes. When I wrote these down, the stupid autocorrect changed the words. And so I don't know what it is now, because it says boiled blow eyes. I don't know what the eyes are. And then we have tofu and durian. I don't know what durian is, but it don't sound too good. But anywho, those are the things they must eat. And Tony says he is ready to go. The clock is set, and it is Tony time for now. But yes, and after they eat, they must place the shields of each season in order. And that is the challenge. And they take off. TJ blows the horn, and they're gone. Kylan said he volunteered as captain because he has faith in himself and his era. Well, good for you, Kylan. Your faith it's admirable, to say the least. But really all it is it's kind of similar to, I guess, All-Stars, to where you want to get in the middle, but the middle doesn't get a vote. And yeah, it's kind of just, it's only the captains that are up for elimination, which is crazy, because even if you're on the losing team, you're safe if you're not a captain. Which I don't know how I feel about that, where it's only the captains that's susceptible to being voted in. I think it should be everybody that lost and didn't get first place should be open to getting voted in. That's the one thing I'm not a big fan of, because say I'm not a captain, I could cruise control and be in example, Johnny and Laurel, say they're not captains. They could have lost this thing on purpose and just had the captains automatically going in there fine, you know? So that's another part of the game to where it's like you can throw missions, and I don't like, yeah, you're sabotaging people on your own team, but I don't like that part. And then I guess you could be a target the next time, because people can see you throwing missions and whatnot. But still, there's rigamaroos around these rules. But anyways, they get started, and they have everyone like a hot mess except for Era 3 and 4. Era 2 rode into the shore initially. Era 1 is off the grid. If you play in a game with a map on the bottom right corner, Era 1's off the map. They rode all the way into just the corner, and they keep running into the corner. If you ever played StarCraft, or if you ever played any game with a map, you know what I'm talking about, where they just rowing into the corner, or they just off the grid and they're in the black land. So they need some help and some milk. But yes, we get a glimpse of the placements, and we see Era 3 way in the front. Era 2's in a nice quality second, and Era 4 is in third. But yeah, it ain't Era 1 in these boats. And what's with all the boats? First mission, we had a boat, a little Simu boat, or whatever you want to call it, circular boat. This one, we got a dragon boat. Are we going to get boats the whole entire? Is that the theme of the season, is boats and water? Is that like, because we got water for the next episode too. So are they going to be in water every single mission? Is that what's popping? I don't know. I didn't know Vietnamese was famous for their rivers and water. I know they're along the water, but, and I ain't got no problem with water missions, but it's always water this, water that. You really, look, they all should go home and practice their canoeing. Everyone. because it seems like all they want to do is just put you in a boat. So as brothers and sisters, that's not our specialty, so they're screwed. God. But we continue. Yes, Erewhon is in shambles, running to the shore, etc. Olivia, once again, reminds us that she's from Alaska. She does this all the time. We get it, Olivia. We get it. You're from Alaska. We know. Era 4 runs into Era 2's in the water. It looked like they did that on purpose. Era 3 and then eventually finishes part 1 first. So they get started on the eating, and Tori just goes in there. I'm like, damn, Tori, what the hell was that, girl? Tori been practicing her eating skills, coach. Don't let me find out you've been practicing eating, mixing drinks with some other things at the club, Tori, and practicing concoctions on your own now. You better chill out with all that. Josh goes in on the worms. We see that because Era 2 and Finish 4 finished right after Era 1 at pretty much similar times. So Josh ain't playing. He just goes in like it's ribeye steak. Theo starts coughing up blood. Ugh. See, these eating challenges, look. The one thing about the eating challenge, I want to do them, but I could spare seeing all the throw up and all that. I really think we can pass on that. I'm glad we didn't get slow-mos of it like we've gotten in the past, because the challenge loves to slow-mo on throw up for some reason. But they didn't do it this time, thank Jesus, because we ain't got to see all that. We don't. We don't. At least, and especially not in slow motion. So I'm glad they did not do that. Era 3 finishes the food first, and Naya said that she saw Tori. It's time for to go to the puzzle next, and before they get there, Tony just downs his food. Like it was Tony time with the food. So apparently he wanted to be there to eat the nasty stuff, and he's like, "All right, ate the nasty stuff. Now it's time to go home." Tony, you just ate all that nasty food, and you apparently wanted to go home, and he didn't rebuke the fact that he wanted to go home. We didn't see that. But we'll get there. But Tony, I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed in Tony, because he's one of my. I like Tony a lot. He came through in the first episode and all that for what? For what? All that work, and what did it get me? A trip back home and losing with Avery. But she stays in the game, and I'm going home without any money. And I volunteered basically to go home. Anyways, we move. But yes, Era 3 finishes the food first, and Tori was apparently studying the seasons, as I'm not expecting. So Tori was practicing eating nasty food at home probably, and studying all the seasons. Tori was ready to go. I'll give Tori her props. I know she gets the short end of the stick a lot, as she does in this episode as well, but she came prepared. You can't doubt Tori's preparation skills and her pre-gaming skills. So she comes prepared. But yes, they get started on that. Era 1 finally finishes the boat. I'm glad they finished the boat. I'm glad they did, and they made it respectable, because I don't want to see Era 1 get blown out. That's no fun. We all respect and love Era 1. Shout out to everybody on Era 1, but I'm glad they were able to complete the mission. Era 2 soon finishes the food, and Era 4 finishes the food as well. So all the eras except for Era 1's on put the seasons together. Now, I would get seasons, feel like 1 through 10, all right. I ain't gonna name them off all right now, but between like after Era 2 and Era 3 gets foggy for me a little bit, but if I had it in front of me to study, I would have it down. I think Era 4 is the easiest to kind of get through. After Dirty 30, it's pretty simple. I'm pretty sure it's Dirty 30, Final Reckoning, War of the Worlds 1, War of the Worlds 2, Total Madness, Double Agents, Double Agents. I'm missing one already. I know we got Spies, Lies, and Allies, Season 39, which I'm missing, and then Season 40, but I'm missing one season. I'm missing one, but if I saw it in front of me, I could probably figure it out. So, yes. But we continue. Where are we at? I lost my spot. But yes, CT gives us a pro tip. You got to be a little crazy to do the challenge. CT and these pro tips. He going to need a pro tip for next episode once we saw... he was talking about Darrell's back. CT, you look like you blew your back. But we, I hope he's okay because that's a bad way to go out. And I didn't see CT at the elimination floor, so that's a red flag. Let's hope and pray for our brother CT, man. He just went through things at home. I hope he ain't got to go through this. So we'll see. I guess that's the only way to take CT out is put him up and drop him in the water. And if he gets hurt like that, shame on production. I know they've fallen before in the water, so they wasn't expecting nobody to get hurt, but that's the worst way to go out is when you're falling because you have to fall and whatnot. And it's just a shame. I we'll see what happens, but I hope CT's all right. But yes, Era 3 soon wins this mission. Shout out Era 3. And everyone else still has to continue. So I thought it was going to be Era 3 1 and everyone else had to stop. But Era 3 wins. And yeah, it's time to continue. And I thought Era 3's leaders were going to die between the three teams on who was to go in, the three losers. But we get soon done with the mission. And Era 2 gets second place. And Era 4 finishes third place. So Tony and Avery are safe. Easy does it. I was not expecting them two to be the safe ones after the first episode. I never would have been on my bingo card, especially not Avery. But Avery shut a lot of people up this episode. Avery stood her ground this episode. And Tony, look. I get it. Me personally, I was a victim of the same circumstance as them on Squid Game. If you ain't watched Squid Game, if you didn't know I was on Squid Game. But I didn't make a decision with the three other people I had to. I should have fallen on the umbrella sword, but I didn't. I was stubborn, and I went out pretty much the same way that they had to go into the elimination. Is I was stubborn, and I didn't make a decision. That won't ever happen to me again, for one. For two, I get it. I get it. But I'm not going home for nobody. No more. So you got to make a decision. And Tony, like everyone said, you didn't have a relationship with everyone else. And I want to know his reasoning. Just because you wanted to buck up and is your ego thing, then no, you got to drop it, bruh. You got to drop it. And the thing is, he had front row seats seeing Zach do this. I'm going to go in on Tony more, but we'll get there. It just baffles me. I'm really baffled and jaw dropped and shocked and disappointed in all the adverbs and adjectives about it. Hurts me. But yes, Tony and Avery are safe. And Jody and Darrell are going straight into elimination. Not the brother. We already lost Leroy the first episode. Now we're going to lose Darrell. Hope, potentially. But we don't. So, but yes, it sucks. My boy Darrell's going in, my favorite player of the squad. And Black Adam got to face the music early. But shout out for him for even volunteering. And poor Jody. Poor Jody. I know they tried to get Anissa to volunteer. Anissa, she like, nah, I ain't doing this one. I'm safe. And she was cheesing after this. She like, y'all can't get me. So Anissa, she dodged the bullet on this, but she knows what time it is next episode. Because Darrell's like, not this time. You got today off, but you ain't getting the next one off, Anissa. Let's go. But yes, the captains of their team have to go into the chamber and plead to Tony and Avery on why they shouldn't go in. So the other two people, Derek and Aviv and Casey and Kyland, are the two others up for potential elimination. Like I said, I think that's dumb. I think the captains should be spared. You know, they're captains, but they can only lead their team so much. I mean, Devin was essentially the captain of Era 3, and he led them, not Tony. So the captain thing is kind of dumb with me. I don't like that gimmick. They should just make everyone available for elimination, because then we really can see how people are playing the game. Because eventually, if you're playing the game like this, then you don't really have to show your cards if you win. You just have to pick two people that's other captains. And it's not even in your hands to really pick. So you're let off the hook. So Tony was even let off the hook. He didn't even have to show who he wanted to go in. And you still picked yourself. What are we doing? And he wasn't even... Look, so these are the options. You get Derek and Aviv, Casey and Kyland, Tony. But as far as we know, you've never really done a season with Derek. Or Aviv. For sure you haven't done with an Aviv. And you haven't done a season with Kyland. And you haven't done a season with Casey. So what is the problem? Like everyone said, you met them a week ago. Avery knows what time it is. She's friends with Derek, so I understand her not picking him. So she has an easy decision with Era 4. Like, it's no big deal. But Tony, I don't understand because Era 4 ain't gonna have your back. You even said yourself you have no friends in here. So why do you feel like you need to hold up their end of any bargain that they offered you? You have yourself and your team. It makes no sense whatsoever. He knows he's gonna have to play this game as a lone wolf. You might as well embrace it and just do what you gotta do instead of going out like that. That's a sad way. I keep getting off topic, but it's just crazy to me. It's just crazy because I'll give this say this. At least Zach in Final Reckoning gave at least a reason because he was boys with Tony. Now if Zach was here and he was saving Zach from going to elimination, totally get it. But it wasn't the case. It wasn't the case, and he was just saving two randos. So Tony getting clowned this whole episode, stomped out in the schoolyard, made a mockery, a buffoon of himself and everyone he's representing. So if you Tony fans out there, I feel bad. I like Tony, but I ain't really like the biggest. I ain't a fan of Tony. Like I am not his stan or anything like that. I don't really stand nobody except Darrell. That's my dog, and Kara. But yeah, they would never. Darrell ain't never. Like Darrell would never, because he even said last episode, I ain't going for Derek. Derek want to volunteer? Go ahead. And yeah, stupidity. So yeah, Aneesa, like I said, she's happy he ain't going in. Derek says he wants to take a big shot and throw Casey and Kyle in. I mean, Derek, that's our only option. What do you mean take a big shot? That's literally the only other option who has to go in. So what are you implying? That's the only shot. Come on, coach. But yes, the interrogation soon starts after everyone peeps and tries to figure out what's going on. Derek says if he won, he wouldn't even have to deliberate. And he said he'd basically throw in the strong teams. Derek, there's only one other option to get thrown in. So the thing is, like, Era 2 and Era 4, they only can point the finger at each other, which is dumb. They need to, if they had all of Era 1, 2, and 4 in there, it would have made for a way better deliberation. I think the producers dropped the ball on this one because it's just like, there's only one option for each team in the chamber to argue for, which kind of makes things stale. You're just going to argue back and forth. Like, duh. There's not really much going to become commotion. I feel like these deliberations in these chambers are just going to be stale. Unless there's friends, of course. But at the same time, it's like there's not much to argue about because there's only a limited pool on who can actually go in. And it's basically luck skating by if you don't get in because if you don't get picked as a target. That's basically what it is. And it matters your friends too, but I just wish it was more people. I think that's silly. But yes, he basically said throwing the strong team, the only other option. Duh. Derek also said his team is trying to take big shots at Tony. Shots, and then Tony looks at... Oh, he says his team trying to make big shots, and then Tony looks at Derek like, well, I'm a big shot. Tony, you're safe, bruh. And you're not the biggest player that even want to go after you. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, Tony, but you're not the biggest threat on the entire cast. So... Tony's acting like he's a little big for his britches. He's acting like he's a champ and he's won a season or he's been on the prior seasons. Tony, the last time we saw you, you voluntarily went home on All-Stars 4 because of family matters and you really didn't show anybody what you got after you've been gone for a while. So what are you talking about and what you getting offended for? Come on now. Tony, disappointment all throughout the boards. You get zeros. Zeros, coach. Kylan said Tony knows he has limited connections. Kylan even knows what's popping. And he has autism. Because he was just voted in by his own era. Yes, Tony, you were voted in by your own era last episode to go in against Leroy. You know you ain't got no allies, so you might as well just do what you want. I don't know why you trying to have people's backs in this. You need to have your own back first and foremost because your own team ain't even got your back, coach. What are you doing? I mean, this was so... crazy to me. $1 million, a chance at $500,000 basically splitting it. Tony, oh gosh, just a shame. I'm a loss for words, y'all. I mean, I've went in enough on Tony. He's getting cooked right now. He's getting cooked on the stove. You know, we cooking him medium rare right now, but it's about to be all the way rare because this dude is just a clown for doing this thing. Darrell says he would want to go against Aviv and Derek. And yes, Darrell technically threw Aviv under the bus here, but he sees Derek as prime rib, and Darrell knows he would work Derek in anything physical because all they saw was physical eliminations. And Darrell, look, you looking out for himself at the end of the day. Darrell knows what time it is. He doesn't want to pick to go against Kyland, who's a much tougher opponent than Derek if it's anything physical. And I don't blame Darrell for saying this. And Aviv has to see what's going on. It's like he's not wanting to go against Aviv. He wants to go against Derek. So Aviv, I understand that she's upset for him doing this. But look at put yourself in his shoes. He has to go in, and you're gonna pick the easier opponent to go against. I mean, it's just plain and simple. So I'm pretty sure he went things over with her. Like it's nothing against her, even though it was kind of a bad look. But at the same time, it wasn't against Aviv. It was more so aimed at Derek. And Derek, you dodged a bullet. You dodged a bullet. But Kylan said, no. And then, yeah, she said she's pissed. She helped Darrell solve the puzzle in the fresh meat final. And if it wasn't for that, that wouldn't have put them 3.5 hours ahead, which I didn't know was 3.5 hours. But yes, I remember that puzzle. That's the one puzzle that always brims back to memory that I watch because it's like you had to make 2 squares out of a stick, move a stick one piece, and it'll make 2 squares. I forever know how to do that puzzle thanks to Aviv. You move 2 sticks to make a square. That's what it was. Really good checkpoint, I must say. And I wish they did more Exile-like things that went on. But they only did Exile again, I guess, in Fresh Meat 2, and then maybe one other challenge. But she was very smart in that entire final, which helped them win together, if you did not know. So the meeting ends, and they did not come to a decision. They don't know what they're doing. Avery says that she would never say Derek's name. Tony, because they used to room together and whatnot, Tony said he doesn't know if Era 2 will ever be in a position of power. What? Era 2 has the strongest women by far. How would they not win a challenge? Like, you think only Era 3 and Era 4 are going to win this thing? Delusional. Tony, even your brain is not clocked in. What are you doing? What are you thinking? You think Era 2's not going to win because they might have weaker guys? You're not just going against the guys. You're going with the girls as well. You thinking Cara, Laurel, Emily, and Aviv won't win a daily? Bruh, what is Tony smoking? Because I want to know. I need some. Maybe I don't need some. But he's smoking something. He need to get drug tested. Something. Send him to Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't know. But this man needs to be checked and tested for his insanity. I don't know. He's still thinking about Bananas. How Bananas didn't have his back. Because Bananas is telling him, Tony, don't even go in. Bananas even is looking out for you. And the thing is, like, yes, Bananas was cheering on Leroy against you, Tony. But he's always had Leroy's back. And you know that. So I don't know why you seem surprised that he would be cheering on Leroy over you, and you're his second guy, you know? I mean, it was kind of a bad look for Bananas to be doing that. He should have just kept his mouth closed. But, yeah, Tony, you need all the allies you can get at this point, and you turning your back on the only one who seemingly might have your back, because Bananas really ain't got too many people either, except Laurel, it seems. He's your number one guy essentially at this point. So you not listening to him is baffling as well. Makes no sense. I mean, nothing he did this whole entire episode makes no sense. He didn't listen to anybody. He didn't really contribute to the team getting through the boat part. He's foolish enough to go against and thinks Avery's bluffing and thinking that she has a poker face and she's not really about that life. But you weren't on All Stars 4 enough with her to kind of see how she plays the game. Avery didn't really play the game in All Stars 4, but I digress. Tony just ain't on the right time. His clock is broken and needs new batteries. Don't know what's going on. But yes, he's being very stubborn, and soon they throw some Egyptian robe toga party, which is kind of cool. You know, I like the parties, and we didn't get to see a ton of the party. We just saw like their little intros, and they walked down, did the catwalk thing, took some photos. Cool little party. Definitely producers put this on. They trying to like, oh, let's have fun like the olden days and whatnot. Cool. It is what it is. CT Pro Tip says it's okay to have fun. Yes, I guess. When you're safe, it's cool to have fun. But everybody else stressing, and then they get to talking. And Cara got this purple/black outfit, kiss looking makeup on. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I love Kiss. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite bands. Shout out Kiss. But yeah, very interesting choice. And that's the only thing she brought. Like she knew that the theme was gonna be or something like that. Who knows? But yes, we get Bananas trying to talk Tony out of it. He ain't listening. Johnny says he would put his own mother in elimination before himself. Yes, Johnny, that's one thing we know you will do. You will do whatever you need to do. Tony, he's supposed to be your apprentice at one point, but he wasn't taking no notes. He just ignored everything you said. So, time to look for a new buddy to work with, especially now because he's gone. Johnny has a way of picking allies. First Leroy leaves, and now Tony. Now who Johnny got? And it looks like his other maybe ally CT, who he played with on the Traders as well, who's kind of works with him, might be leaving next episode. So Johnny got that kiss of death right now. If you get close to Johnny, you're gonna be out the house. So stay away, folks. Kylan and Nia start getting it popping. They start getting it cracking. They start getting the mattress shaking. The rump room moving. The glasses. I was gonna say the glass is cracking, but you get the point. It's 12 o'clock for them, and they trying to, get that baby making music going, which is cracking me up because she was just with Josh like the night prior. Nia, she trying to get all the allies she can get. She's like, look, I've been out the game for a minute. I ain't been on a main season in a long time, so I need to do everything I can, coach, to get this thing going. And she's like, if the open box policy is the only strategy I can use, then let me just open this Pandora's box and let's just get it going. Somebody gonna get this. I don't care who it is. Shout out Nia Doche. Hey, look, you got to do what you got to do in the game. I don't blame her. She needs to do what she got to do. And she's doing it well. Doing it and doing it and doing it well. I used to represent Queens out way out in Brooklyn. LL Cool J side of the game. And yes, she says she still likes Josh, and she said her strategy is to get one or both of them to fall in love with her. Well, she's doing it and doing it well. But yes, then you seen Devin and Michelle start getting it on and popping as well. I mean, I don't know what's in the water in Vietnam, but everyone's hormones is going off the charts. Michelle says she's seen him strip a couple times, and that was enough for her to want to go exploring. Like I said, everybody on the Eliza Thornberry side of the game, they looking in the jungle and seeing what they can find in the jungles of Vietnam. But yes, we see, then this is a funny part. So we see Corey, Theo, Tina, and Tori are up late cracking jokes. You know, when you up late, they look drunk as hell. They're up kicking it and whatnot. And they start joking about Josh because, like, they hear Kylan and Nia getting it cracking. And they're just, making, I think it's more so, you joking with your friends and you giving them shit and a hard time and being like, yo happened to your girl, like she was somebody else, yada yada yada. Like just that kind of joke and banter. We've all had it before where we're going in and joning on somebody. But apparently Josh has never had this happen before. Or maybe he was too, when Josh gets drunk, he starts banging pots and pans. And he wasn't happy about this. Like he's like, nobody can talk about me and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, Josh, relax. I think it's just all jokes. I'm pretty sure. Like he was drunk, so like it is what it is. They shouldn't. Y'all, this whole scene was cracking me up. I wish we got to see the unedited of what they was really like going in about. But yeah, it was. This scene was funny, and Josh, you just gotta chill. Like, just take it on the chin. Just take it on the chin. Like, yeah, you wanna. I guess that's the only way he might get some screen time is going in on somebody because he didn't really get shown that much in the first 2 episodes. And this is the only time he really got shown in this episode. And he eventually gets real tight with Tori about it because she's supposed to be his best friend. And he's like, you're supposed to have my back. Why are you making fun of me? Blah, 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 blah. She's like, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. I'm just playing with you, Josh. Like, just chill. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm mad. I'm going to go in on you. We're not friends anymore. I'm like, she's like, what? Why would you ever say that to me? Oh, my gosh. What? He's a mess, y'all. But yes, Josh, he goes in, says we're not friends anymore. And yes, Tori did throw him into elimination on USA 2, as we got the flashback for. So he has every reason to already not be her friend. And I don't know why he went into the game already on terms with her, but that made no sense to me. And this was the thing to break the bubble. So her throwing you in wasn't enough, but her making a joke about you not getting losing Nia to Kylan is okay. Anywho, yes, Tori says she's hurt because he said that she would never say these things and this, that, and the third. It was a bunch of hoopla at the end and fake tears and all these things. I'm pretty sure in the morning they were like, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I'm sure it was whatever. But yes, Josh got embarrassed and he took it out on Tori. Emily said she wishes. This was funny too. Emily says she wishes Nani didn't have Casey because she loves Casey because she had beef with Nani back when she was on the show. They were on the show together, and yeah, she's like, look, I guess I gotta be friends with Nani now because of Casey. Watch out, Nani, because Emily about to steal your girl. But yes, it would have been funny to see Nani on the season because if her and Emily had beef, that would have been good television. But we did not get that, unfortunately. And Tony said, soon we get back to Tony, and he said he's sticking to his word, he's sticking to his game, and he's gonna do what he wants to do, how he does it. He gonna be doing it and doing it and doing it well. On the J Lo side, not LL Cool J, J Lo. You don't want to be on the J Lo. I'd rather be LL Cool J than J Lo, but that's just me. No disrespect. Just saying. Avery tells it's time to get back to elimination, and so TJ's like, okay, it's time for you guys to make a decision. Avery looks at Tony. Tony looking forward. Avery's like, go ahead, do what you need to do. He starts sweating. Oh, he starts sweating. He starts shaking like a salt shaker. Tony is like, oh, snap. I can't back down now. I talked all that talk, and I'm going to cradle to the grave, I guess. And so he's like, I guess I said it earlier. And I think at that point, what was going on in Tony's head is he talked this big talk in the house of how he was going to stand his ground, and Avery's not going to, he's not going to let some women do him like this and third, whatever he said. And the girls really got in Avery's head too about like, don't let the man tell you what to do. Don't let him throw you around, which she didn't. And he thought she was going to crack, and she kept it together. And she didn't back down. And TJ said, well, since y'all both can't come to a decision, it's y'all turn to get y'all asses down here. So let's go. Walk down the catwalk runway, do your strut, and get your jerseys on and helmets strapped, because it's time to go. I don't think they needed helmets for this elimination. I don't know why they had them. Did they have them in helmets? I don't think they did. I think they did. Can't remember. But anywho, yes, Tony and Avery go in, Zach and Amanda style. Tony, what are you doing? You're throwing your game away for who? Kylan and Casey? Oh, gosh. If only it was a headbanger eating competition, it would make sense, Tony. But it's not. It's a puzzle. And this puzzle was actually, look, I've done these kind of puzzles before. I used to play these kind of games on my phone. So it's process of elimination. Now you have help from the sides, which I don't like them getting help. I'm just not a fan of that. I wish they could block it off. They should have made the signs not facing the crowd so they could see them. They strategically seem to do that, and the person closest to the crowd can hear everyone more so. And don't they have the same colors? So wouldn't they just be able to copy off of each other? Like they should. I think they might have had different. They had the same set of rules. I had the same rules, but I took a picture of it to check. But yes, the rules. Anyways, the rules of this game. Well, before we even get there, I'm jumping ahead. We got to get to Derek. Derek, you gonna let your girl go out like that? That's your friend, and you ain't gonna stand up for her? I mean, I guess, look, he's on the Darrell side of the game because he's like, look, I ain't gonna volunteer for you. Avery, he pulled the Darrell. He's like, look, I ain't doing it, coach. You can do it, but I ain't doing it. And so I don't blame Derek for not, but dang, Derek, that's tough. That's tough. And Corey tells Darrell to beat his ass. He said, go get him out the game. I hate him still for throwing out my pasta. Darrell, go do work. I'm like, dang, Corey, you better hope he don't come back because he gonna throw some more than just pasta out the window. But yes, Corey does not like Tony, as we all know. And it is an individual game, TJ says. And the elimination is called one step at a time. They must uncover the directions and then race back to build a walkway following directions. They can only place one tile at a time, but 2 tiles per frame, which are the same colors. And if they make a mistake, then they must start over. And it's only the men going against each other and the women going against each other. So it's not a team game. It's only one-on-one. Basketball settings. And Darrell is probably good at basketball. Tony probably ain't too good at basketball. That's all I'm going to say. But yes, they must start over. Darrell says his strategy is just for everyone to help him out. He ain't mincing no words. He's like, look, I need help. Please. Please. I hate these ones that they help them out on. I hate it so much. It's so stupid. It's just dumb. Like, why do they continue to let these eliminations be, oh, I'm going to help you out when it comes to puzzles? I liked a puzzle they had. I think it was War of the Worlds 1, where they had the puzzle in this dark room, and so nobody could help them out or have the puzzle face them, but they could yell out the directions to help anyways. I just don't like it. It just ruins it. Even I love Darrell winning, but it just ruins it, and it just takes everything out of it for me, to be honest. But yes, they get the game. The guys go first, and it is a riddle. And the riddle is choose only yellow, blue, red, and green tiles. So you got to go through these things one at a time. Choose only yellow, blue, red, and green tiles. We don't know how many colors there were in there. There was maybe some other colors too, like purple and white and black. But we already know what colors we can only use. So that's the first one. Yellow, blue, red, green. 4 colors. Yellow, blue, red, green. We only can use those. Green can only touch yellow. Blue cannot touch yellow. So let's do that one. Green can only touch yellow. Blue cannot touch yellow. We already know we can only use yellow, blue, red, and green. Out of the second one, we already know 3 out of the 4 colors we can use. Process of elimination. Blue cannot touch yellow. Green can only touch yellow. The colors on either side of yellow must be different from each other. Okay, so you can have a green, a yellow, but you can't have green, yellow, blue. So you can have a red touch a yellow, then a blue. No, blue cannot touch yellow. Oh, easy. Red, yellow, blue. No, red, yellow, green. Yellow. Red, yellow, green, yellow. Because blue can't touch yellow. Colors on either side of yellow. Red. So it's has to start out with red. So there we got it. Red, yellow, green, blue. Red, yellow, green, blue. That's the first 4 right there. Red, yellow, green, blue. Those are the first 4. I believe I'm doing that right. Red, yellow, green, blue. And we have the map too. So the map on here, I see Darrell's. It's green. He goes green, yellow, red, blue, red, yellow, green, yellow, red, blue. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tiles. So he started with the green, yellow, red, blue, red. Green, yellow, red, blue, red. And you just need your teammates to help with. Anyways, it's just a process of elimination. Yes, you get everyone yelling so you can just help, but this is something that you really kind of, it's a thoughtful one, I will say. And it's more about taking your time than just rushing through it, as we've seen. But yes, those are the rules. And yes, everyone basically is helping Darrell do it. I mean, even Laurel's helping him, which is ironic because he threw her as a target. But yes, Tony's already confused before it even starts. He's looking at the directions for like 20 minutes. Like, I don't know what's up, down, left, right. I don't even know what color red is. Is red a color? He don't know what's going on. He's lost himself in the music the moment he wants it. And he apparently didn't want it. But yes, we get through this elimination and whatnot. Darrell eventually wins and gets him out the house. He had tweaked his back in the process. You got to stretch, my brother. You got to stretch. And everyone apparently thought Tony was losing on purpose. Don't know. We'll find out. But Tony went out sad. Tony went out, I don't think I don't know how he can show his face again after this. It's pretty shameful. Nobody pretty much appreciated how he went through the game. I would shout out Tony, but after this performance, he don't deserve a shout, and I'm sorry, brother. Look, I want to see Tony back, but he got to get his act together. I don't know what it was. I don't know. He quit. He left All Stars 4, and then he went out and shambles on this one. I don't know what's going on with dude. I wish he would have showed out better because he was actually an exciting return and somebody I really looked forward to coming back. But he just flamed out so quick. It was shameful. But it's soon the women's turn. Shout out to Ruff for winning too. My brother, he's be holding it down for Era One. And the brothers. Jody says this is her worst nightmare. She is not happy about this. Everyone pretty much starts helping Avery except Era One. I mean, not everyone knows who Jody is. Not really anyone knows her like that. And Avery somehow got the crowd on her side. I don't know what she did. She did All Stars, and everyone's rooting for. She's trying to get the free wings at Hooters, I guess. I don't know, but she promised them something. Come to Hooters, and I'm gonna hook it up. But yes, this one gets started. They both have to eventually reset at the same time, and Avery rallies, and she putting off a Hooters. Adam, the stepchild. I don't know if her Adam got married. She said stepchildren, so her Adam get married. That was quick. But yes, she eventually wins the elimination, and it's poetic justice because she gets Tony up on out of here, and that's what he gets. I'm glad she won. I hate to see Jody leave because I love Jody, but I'm glad Avery won just because she got to stick it to Tony, and he got double whammy. He got, I can't think of the saying, but he looks foolish. Everyone look at him like he foolish. He looked dumb as hell. He's going outside. Add insult to injury, and it's just not looking good. I know that plane ride home was a sore one, and this was a tough pill to swallow, and he gonna need a lot of water for that one. So, whew, she even told him to his face, probably like, "Get by, boy." Oh, Avery, you did that though. This episode was all you. So shout out Avery. She definitely showed everybody what's popping. And Tony said it wasn't his time tonight. No, I think you need to retire that name. And Tony, I think you just need to be called. Look, I don't even know what you should be called anymore, my friend. You lost the nickname. It's removed. No more time for you. But yes, she goes in on him and calls him a douche as well. TJ says, okay, you guys won to Darrell and Avery, and now you guys get special power, essentially. TJ says, you must pick 2 people on each era to be a target. He says if you compete in the elimination, you get to pick targets for the next challenge, a male and female, who must win the next challenge, because if they don't, they could go in. And here's how it goes down. So basically, the losing team's targets are going straight into elimination. So if you pick 2 people on Era 1 and Era 1 loses, those 2 people are going straight in. It was a little confusing to follow initially because I was like, I had to pause it and rewind a couple times because it was very lengthy rules. But we eventually got there. And if the winning team's targets are going into the chamber, so even if the winning teams are going into the chamber. So I guess if the team wins the challenge, I think those are the captains essentially. The targets are the captains essentially, I believe, unless there's a rule I'm missing. But yes, if the team picks Era 3's people and they win, then those are the captains and those are the people who are going to be deciding between the other eras who should go into elimination. That's what it seems. That's what it seems. It was lengthy. But it's time for them to pick. And he says the males must pick the females and the females must pick the males. Very interesting. I like that twist. I do like that because then we can kind of see more dynamics going to it. So it's not such a separate game. I do like when it's males and women and women, but this really makes you amp up and have to talk to everybody and put all the cards on deck to make sure that you have no loose ends because you have to talk to the guys and the girls. And so it deems you better that way. But I like that. But we get to the picks. Get to Era 1 first. Avery picks Derek because he's not looking at her. Weird reason. And the people she had to pick one from was CT. She ain't picking CT because she probably everyone adores CT and is scared of him. And you had Derek and CT. Were those the only two options? We had Derek, CT, Darrell one, and oh Brad. She ain't picking Brad because she just did All Stars 4 with Brad. So and she had a positive relationship with him. I mean, so Brad was off the table, and it was pretty much between CT and Derek. So that was kind of obvious. She wasn't picking CT, and Darrell picks Anissa. And look, Anissa, you can't even be that mad. Darrell had between you and Darrell had between Veronica, Anissa, Rachel, and Tina. He's not picking Rachel because he did campus crawl with her, so she's completely off the table. And Tina is Rachel's friend, so she's pretty much off the table. And so there's only one option left. So process of elimination, and Nisa, you shouldn't be surprised or shocked. Like, I think that's pretty obvious. So we get to era 2, and Darrell picks Laurel. Very interesting. I like that pick. Shout out Darrell. So Darrell had between Aviv, Kara, Laurel, and who else is on era 2? Emily. Dareve, Kara, Laurel, and Emily. I don't know if he has a relationship with Emily or not. He's definitely not picking up. So he's definitely not picking Aviv or Kara. He's been paired with those two before. So that just leaves Emily and Laurel. Emily and Laurel. I don't know if Darrell has a relationship with Emily or not. He might. I think he did Champs with Stars with Emily. He's also done season with Laurel. But yeah, she knows that that's smart because she's the strongest player on era 2. So by far, and he needs to get the strong ones out. So that's a smart pick by him actually. And Avery picks Bananas. Let's see Avery's choices. She had between Bananas, Derek, Ryan, and Nehemiah. I always forget Nehemiah's there. He's been ghost this whole time. We got a comment. What's going on? Okay, what's up, Nancy? Shout out you for being our first commenter of the night. But yes, she has those 4 to pick from. She's not picking Derek because they are best friends essentially. She's not picking Ryan because that's Derek's best friend. So that just leaves Nehemiah and Bananas. I believe Nehemiah did not do All Stars 4. And so I see you just going for Bananas because he's the strongest one. I mean, she could have picked Nehemiah too, but she didn't for whatever reason. And so, yeah, she picked Bananas. Process of elimination. And Kara's happy because she's like, her 2 biggest ops is on the block. And she's like, yes, it's time to get revenge. Sweet revenge. So it's time for era 3. You know, smart. There's 2 strongest players. Era 3. So Avery picks Jordan because he volunteers. So, I mean, he volunteered. That's what we get. And Darrell picks Naya. So we have between era 3, we have Avery 1, so she's not a candidate. We have Tori, Naya, and who else is on era 3? Tori, Naya, and who else is on era 3? We got Tori, Naya, Janae. Janae was kind of ghost in this episode too. Tori, Naya, and Janae. I don't know why he didn't pick Tori. She has a lot of connections, so maybe that's the reason. Janae, he did All Stars with Janae a couple times, so maybe that. So take Janae off the table. Tori, and Naya. I don't know why he picked Naya over Tori. Interesting. I'm trying to think of why. Darrell had never done a season with Naya, not to my recollection. He did All Stars 3 with Naya, though. Maybe they didn't get along. Who knows? I don't know, Darrell. You off code for that. That's a question mark scratching my head. Unless you made a deal with Tori, but you should have thrown Tori in. I don't know why he saved. He picked Naya. Darrell, I don't know. That's a question got me scratching my head a little bit. Yeah, I don't know about that one, Darrell. We gonna see, but that was not a pick I think you should have did. And we get era 4. And Darrell ended up picking Jenny. So for Air 4, he had to pick Michelle, Olivia, Jenny, or Olivia. He has no relationships with any of them except maybe Casey. He's done a season with, I believe, Double Agents. So it's between Olivia, Michelle, and Jenny. So he really could he just picked the strongest one, which smart. He picked the strongest women. Maybe she could go home. That'll help everybody else out in the game, especially his team. And then Avery picks Horacio because he's by himself, and she basically picked him most likely because he didn't talk to nobody else for real. Because Horacio's not a social butterfly, and she's like, "There's no harm, no foul doing this." And he's a strong competitor. At least the other girls, I'm sure Avery was hanging out with, or the other guys, because she had between Kyland, Josh, and I'm forgetting who is on these teams. There's so many people. Kylan, Josh, Paulie's gone, and Theo. No, Kylan, Josh, Theo, and Horacio. Kylan, Josh, Theo, and Horacio. I guess she just picked him because she didn't talk game. And yeah, that was it. That was it for episode 3. It was a lot. There's a lot in these episodes. They're all going to be an hour 30 minutes, which is a lot for me to cover. But hey, the longer the better. I guess we can get more transparency behind things. We get to preview the next episode. Darrell going off on Laurel, it looks like. I'm looking forward to that. And Darrell, when he needs to, he can shut him down. He got the biggest mouth with the best of them. If you don't know, watch his earlier seasons because he don't take no mess from nobody. And CT isn't there at the elimination, I noticed. So is he gone? Is he out the game? They give him some time off? We'll see on next time. But yes, y'all, I appreciate y'all for joining me for this live coverage of All Stars, the Challenge 40. This season is crazy. We lost 2 more people. We down 10 people now. So we got the top 30 people left. Season's moving. And it's just getting started, and it's getting better and better with each week. These episodes have been good overall. Episode 2 was better than this episode, I'll say, but these episodes have been quality, and I'm looking forward to next Wednesday. It's going to be lit. Also, if you guys are football watchers, I will be going live again tomorrow after the Mizzou Murray State game. It's going to be a late live stream. The game doesn't start till 8 p.m. Eastern, I believe, and yeah, it's going to be a late one, but that's going to be the first football live stream. So if you like that, check it out. If you don't, you can skip it or just leave a like on it. But y'all, thank you for joining me so much. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming through. Last week's video got amazing views. This week, I'm hoping for even more. We got more people viewing the live video even more, which is nice. I'm just recently starting to do these, so bear with me. I'm going to try and get images up. I'm trying to work on the images. When I screenshot, it won't let me keep it. It just turns black, but I'm going to figure that out for y'all. Till next time, y'all. Peace, blessings, deuces, and have a great rest of your night. And Tony, it's time to just turn off the clocks for good. Take all the clocks off your walls. Take all your watches. Give them to your neighbor. Give them to a friend. And it's lights out. Only use digital ones from now on. Because Tony time is no more.